So, hi, Renee Lance. Thank you so much for joining us at Phone Gap Day here in Utah, Salt Lake City. I have a number of questions for you. So, why don't you start by telling us a bit about who you are and what you're doing now with Adobe as a solutions consultant?
So I've been with Adobe 3 years, and previously I was a designer and a front-end developer, and I loved that as well. And now as a solutions consultant, I actually get to work with our customers to get the best value out of our tools and help them scope workflows and conceptualize how to put the pieces together to automate their processes with our tools.
Wow, very interesting, very technical, and you must have so many insights into the industry and into mobile app development today. So what are you going to be speaking about at Phone Gap Day?
So I'm going to be talking about rapid prototyping and also how we automate that process. So I'm showing an innovation. My presentation is an innovation and something we've been playing with in the labs. And it's really about streamlining the design to web process, and not so much to a HTML export, but it's more to network applications. So, to a mobile app or to, a dynamic web environment. And it's something that it's quite a challenging process. It's really manual at the moment, even after, all 10 years or more, it's really still a manual process. So I'm going to show a proof of concept that we've been building out as part of my presentation.
Cool. That sounds really cool. Another question I have is, I think you mentioned that your background was as a designer. And so I'm wondering if you can comment on the ways in which designers and developers have changed in how they work together, or if that hasn't changed, sort of what some of the common issues are.
And something, it's a topic I actually like talking about. So I guess with that, it's almost like it's a relationship. So you really have to try and get a good understanding of each other's respective processes and workflows. You don't, there are some people who don't, and they just hand off a design as a designer, and then the developer it goes ahead and does does most of that part, or a front end and then a back end. But really, I think, and this is part of the presentation tomorrow, I guess, and that discussion is, if you really want to build a better engagement and enhance the interactivity and how that user interacts with it and get that best engagement, having a designer be involved in how their design, say, moves on the screen, and having input and ownership over that, I feel is very critical. In terms of how it's changed in the last, 10 years, it's not changed a lot. I still talk to customers who in the design studios who, the designer just hands off the design and there's no HTML prototype. They give them the developer just does everything and it's a back-end developer. They don't sometimes even have a front end. Or, with the process, the team can involve, maybe one designer, but they have 4 front-end developers and, 10, and there was one particular customer had 10 to 20, and I took a stab in the dark. So let's just say 15 developers working on this one product. So, you get a feeling of, the scope of work that's involved, and it's been, because it's been a manual process, it's a really time-consuming process. So it's not changed all that much in the last 10 years, from my opinion. Apart from maybe some hacked together workflows that probably people have tried to sort of resolve, within their own businesses, but not in terms of an industry.
Awesome. And just one last question. What's most exciting right now that you're hearing about in the mobile space in terms of technologies or approaches?
I think for me, one of the most exciting things that I've just come across recently. I know that people have been doing it for a little bit, but it's the augmented reality and the different experience around that. And I think in terms of, what we think about mobile now and what mobile could be in the future, mobile may not actually be a physical device, and that's how I see it. I feel, that whole mobile piece will be a lot less of a device type experience, but, could projections or in the augmented reality, or it could be mind wave technology type of interaction or sensors and those sorts of things. So yeah, it's really exciting actually to think of, what could be coming and what, you could be conceptualizing for in the future.
Cool. Thank you so much for the interview. Really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.